You have to be careful with this stuff. I always laugh when people saying about, well, what about realtors? Are you guys a dying breed now that AI is coming? I'm like, you still need a human aspect of it. As much as good as a robot, like they can know as much as you possibly can. It's not the same. There is a human aspect in the services in which we provide. And I don't care what robot, and I don't care how much you're learning. I actually am scared of robots. Watching the Terminator, watching the Matrix, basically people have been warning us for years. Do not rely on technology. It can come back and kill you. Yeah, I believe it could.
Hello. Welcome back, everybody. This is the DC Talks podcast with David Chinelli. We're back for a brand new episode this week. And one thing that's been happening a lot, you're seeing like the evolving of technology happening at a rapid pace. Google just came out with VEO technology where you can actually like mimic like a gorilla talking. You can take,
which are hilarious,
right? you can do so much with technology, but it does pose a lot of implications with a lot of deep fakes going around where you can have like people who are prominent in politics and sports and music industry, you name it. They are making deep fakes of these people, and they sound, it feels real, but it's a deep fake. And this is something that we wanted to discuss because we see like the positives of having these deepfake technologies, and there's also a lot of dangers in having these type of technologies existing today. And DC, I want to ask you, like, ever since this thing started, like AI and technology, what was the first deepfake that made you go like, whoa, this is dangerous, this is insane?
Well, it wasn't even, I wouldn't say it's something you would think is like that deep thing. I never thought of it funny that way. I think it was an interview with Aaron Rodgers, I think, when he was talking. I knew the deep fake was good because what they did is they took like an interview from him and then they mimicked his mouth. So the picture was him like doing an interview, and the stuff he was coming out of his mouth was like, it was all about the anti-vax stuff and what he should have said and all that. And I was like, is this guy really saying this? And it like made me think twice. I'm like, I'm a Packer fan, by the way. And I think that's one that resonated with me. And then I started to worry, obviously we knew it was fake. And then I started thinking about, holy shit, like there's all these other things that could happen. What if world leaders started doing stuff and people did deep fakes and people started believing that, and that sort of happened. And then I started worrying about, I don't know, sex scandals, or how do people get out of sex? So maybe even the opposite, maybe people getting out of sex scandals. That wasn't me. Prove it was me, yeah. Right? It's like,
you can blame AI for anything now. It's just like, yeah, that was a made up video. It might be like an actual video, but you can blame, hey, this is a deep fake video being imposed. Yeah. There's a lot of...
So the implications for us right now, it's like, it's kind of scary out there.
Yeah.
It's, until you see people like in real life, and it's, well, now I always get worried about like, well, what if there's like, sexual deviance to that as well, where people can get, now, two parties. One, people get their sexual deviance off. They can get off of looking at stuff as long as you don't, in the comfort of your own home, but like, listen, doing that, I don't agree with, like, being, you know what I mean? Like with pedophilia and all that kind of stuff too. But there's also like people getting off, like literally getting off of like charges and saying that wasn't me, like that's what I also get worried about. Like, or somebody pretending to be, like get a porn star and put somebody else's faces on it. And it's like, and you can ruin a reputation for somebody really quickly. And the damage is done, right?
There was a video of that actually, Priyanka Chopra, you know her?
Yeah.
She had a deep fake of her going around, and it was
she used to be on that show with the FBI and all that stuff too. She married one of the Jonas Brothers.
I think it made is like Nick Jonas, I think. Who knows? One of the Jonas Brothers. But
they're all the same.
It was an explicit video of her, like actually it was a prawn video going around of her doing this, and people were like, oh my god, Priyanka Chopra, like her thing came out, but it later came out there's a deep fake video of her doing this. So it just kind of woke everybody up to the implications of what this could be. And you don't even know what's real and what's like fake anymore, right? You talked about like something even like the political. There was even a fake video of President Zelensky, Ukrainian president, which was circulating on fake news outlets showing him urging soldiers to surrender during the entire thing that was going on between them and Russia.
Yeah.
And that was major because,
Which wasn't a deep fake. It was him looking like a little fairy dancing around beforehand.
but that's another one right there, right? Another story just to share what can happen. There was scammers cloned a CEO's voice using AI and impersonated him to a UK subsidiary's CFO and convinced them to transfer $240,000 to a fake supplier. Right?
Well, I can see that happen. What about this? I'm worried about my kids. Like, what if you had a young and impressionable kid? And let's talk about the elephant in the room, like sex trafficking, right? It's a big business, right? So let me put over here, right? Like one of the statements I was watching, or one of the videos I was watching, the reason why they won't come up with the Epstein's files is that the information they got from Epstein is currency. So if you have blackmail ability, the U.S. government has blackmail ability, which obviously on Epstein's file, and they have, it's not just files, it's not just names they actually have like apparently real stuff, concrete evidence to blackmail people. They can get a lot of stuff done. If they release the names, the currency's gone, because then all it takes one person to talk and he outs a whole bunch of other people, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
So it's a leverage. They want to have that leverage.
That's right. So it's leverage, right? So it's an issue, right? So what about in sex trafficking? Say like somebody mimics, like say my kids when they were young, mimics myself or my wife, puts it on camera. They know who we are. Hey, your dad just sent me this video, like said, like, hey, your dad's like, hey, Mila Matea, shit, I don't know if I said that. Go home with Roger. It's good. Like, don't worry about it. I'll see you at home. Mom's okay with it. I already let her know. Next thing you know, kids are in a van. You never see them again.
That's possible.
It scares the living shit out of me, like, and what do you do to protect your kids? Like, ask questions and stuff too. But, you were told to like never get in a car with a stranger, never converse with somebody you don't know, all that kind of stuff too. But if you have a real life video of me and saying, no, guys, it's okay. Well, and now they know they can mimic people's voices as well. Oh, don't worry. Let me call your dad. Call it like, oh, here, let me call him. They say like, oh, yeah, don't worry, girls. It's fine. So now you have a video and stuff too. Like that scares the living shit out of me.
Yeah, it's insane, man. Even it's gone to a point where the technology is so intuitive. Like, let's say you go on an interview on CNN or one of these major news networks.
Oh, what did I do to get on there? I'm joking.
Maybe you just sold like the biggest mansion ever.
All right, it's a good interview. Okay,
it's a good interview, right?
Yeah.
And if that's the scenario we're playing out, you go there, you're talking about everything you did to make sure this house was sold. It was the biggest transaction ever. And everything you're saying is positive. But then this technology, what it can do, it can actually flip the entire interview and say,
of course,
I took advantage of them. I said this.
Yeah, could you imagine? It's like, yeah, those MFs, so I had the worst sellers in the world. They wouldn't listen to anything I said. Yeah. They're lucky they got the thing. Imagine me like an interview like that. Well, it's funny, like we were talking on the plane back from Greece and we were with guys who were from Edmonton talking about, like how, Edmonton lost the second time around. And there was an interview, the wife was saying like they had two kids that just graduated from university, they're twins, right? And the mom thought an interview from Connor McDavid or from the coach was actually true about how bad like Skinner was and how he's like, and she's like sharing with her friends like, oh my God, the guy, like the coach said this. And the son had to be like, Mom, it's a deep fake. It's supposed to be a joke. This is not actually real. But it's hard to tell, right? It's an interview. Like, you don't know, like, again, if somebody's not sure, never seen deep fakes and they're just always watching the TV, you're not going to know that's not real. You're passing it on as real. It's a problem.
And the thing is too, DC, is like you're seeing this a lot on Facebook because a lot of the older generation is now coming on Facebook. So my parents, my aunties and uncles, now they're using social media, but they're not going to use Instagram the way like we're using Instagram.
Facebook is known as the old people.
Facebook network, right? So you have like these aunties. Like,
I still use Facebook. I think it's great. I'm not that old.
I enjoy Facebook as well too, but like I don't use it as much as I do Instagram and TikTok now. But you have these like family members, they're sending all these videos from Facebook like, oh my God, did you see this whale like cup on like a street? And it's like, I didn't know whale. Like they're so impressioned because they've never seen technology like this. So they think it's actually real. And it causes them to act in a panic and think something is happening.
Yeah.
But they're like, I'm like, Mom, like the same way this Connor McDavid thing happens, like that's actually not true.
Yeah.
But they don't know what they don't know at the end of the day, because to them, this technology they're not really well versed in deepfake technology. They see a video, they think it's true.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. It's a problem, right? Well, I can see a lot of seniors getting scammed. Not even seniors, like even somebody who's a little bit older than us, right? They can just don't know. They're not ahead of it. They just don't realize it. They can get scammed. Like, well, you said a company got scammed, and how are you going to know, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like question for you is like, what do you see in the future with trusting media institutions? Like, especially now in 2025, as we're heading like towards the future, how do we distinguish what is real and what's fake now, especially when we're watching, and even these institutions are utilizing this technology for interviews now, right? I don't know if you know this, but it's like we can't really believe everything we see. Everything can be manipulated now, because we kind of spoke about last week in last week's episode and a couple weeks back in groupthink. Like, you show the same message over and over, and you've seen that Fox News, news anchors are all saying the same thing across every network. Now we're being shaped to think a certain way, and I think this technology is going to expedite that a lot faster. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think you agree. We have to be careful, because you can see, like, I've said this over and over again. We have to stop idolizing people like that, which should not be idolized, right? Celebrities, performers, athletes and stuff. If they can start deep faking all the people that you found, like, imagine they can specifically target you for the people that you find, which are very impressionable in your life, and they're telling you to do a certain way, they can manipulate you. I can see that happening, unfortunately. So, because you won't know it's targeting to you. So, for example, in a mass media, say you watch the Raptors and your favorite player is Grady Dick, because I know you like Dick. So Grady Dick, I mean.
Yeah.
And then your favorite singer, your favorite rapper is Dre.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'm not Dr. Dre. Let's do Dr. Dre. Okay. Because
Yes,
I'm not going to get into the whole,
Drake
everything. Let's do Dr. Dre. Right. And then, I don't know, like your favorite hockey player is Connor McDavid. Right. And all of a sudden you're watching a show, and all of a sudden you said, like, and they're trying to get you to, I don't know, buy cigarettes, let's call. And they're like, I don't know. And every commercial is going to be specified from based on what you watch, because they know what your eyes go towards, and every other commercial is one of those three celebrities. And I can see that I can see them targeting you for products, but then let's get a little dark, doing things that you don't want to do, never thought about it, right? Changing your values, right? So, we've talked about abortion before, which you had to take down that episode because of some things we said. But anyway, say you're pro-life, but you have like the Pope that pops in and says, which he might not have ever said. He goes, God said, actually, it's better to do pro-choice. And then all of a sudden, Grady Dick jumps in there. And all these people, like, all of a sudden, and it's working in your background. So these are kinds of things that I'm worried about. Like, these mean they don't even have to pay them to do this. The other things you have to be worried about is, like, so they're making impressions upon your subconscious to make decisions, which they want you to do. It's a problem, right? Then have you heard this other problem they have is now where actors have decided that one of the problems is they're trying to deepfake them and trying to use all CGI and stuff, that they don't even need to be in movies anymore.
Yeah. You remember the Englishman? Was it the one with he was in Casino. He's like this Sam Rothstein. Have you seen Casino with
Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci?
Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
Because these guys are older now, they actually use deepfake technology to make them look a lot younger.
Yeah.
Right. So I mean, it sounds like a positive, because I mean, these were guys that we grew up watching. They kind of represent that, like, mafia boss. You have Goodfellas, you have Sopranos. Like, these are cultural characters that we grew up loving, and we want to still keep them alive some way, somehow. And they're using deepfake technology to make them look younger and a lot more, spry in these movies. But is that a positive? Is that a negative? Should we still, like, value people as they're aging and just, hey, you're old now, we still rate you as an actor?
What happens when they pass away? They can still use their image and stuff too. So now you're watching movies with them.
Yeah.
Which they're not even part of.
That is actually kind of messed up too.
Right? Like, that's a huge problem. And that's why the Actors Guild was like one of the original. Remember when there was the whole the strike? It was based on that too, because they're saying it was CGI, which basically is deep faking. I see it's a problem. Like, I think it's like in our industry. I remember Ariana was saying before, she's like, why don't some of these older agents that are in like their 90s just get out so we can get some sales for ourselves? It should be a passing of a torch, right? Like it's, if you're able to act into your hundreds and you still want to, great. But you can also teach other people. There should be like a passing of a torch kind of situation and helping other people get into the industry. And that's how you can make your legacy, I think, right? What would your legacy be if you're constantly on camera, even like you're dead for 10 years and you're still showing up in movies and doing stuff which you would never do which you were alive, right? Imagine somebody who's a Christian, all of a sudden he's doing porn videos after he's dead. Think about that, right? Because we want to see that. It's like it tarnishes your character without even you doing anything. It could be a problem, right?
Yeah, and it's a money grab as well too, because let's say if you're acting one movie and then you can have this other opportunity to be in this other film, you can't be two places at once. So now they can use you, and now like, okay, you're double dipping, right? So there's that one thing. What do you think about it being, if you make a deep fake on someone, do you think that could be labeled as assault now? If I make a deep fake of you, like, do you see it being like,
well, it's defamation of character. Like I would say 100%. Well, how's it defamation of character? Like you're doing and saying things I may or may not have ever thought about it. So, yeah, like let's be honest. It's like, I think it's in the States, I would have sued you. That's my character. That's my likeness. I don't know if we can do that in Canada. In America, everybody sues everybody. Like,
do you think it's going to hold up in court?
Yeah, of course. If you did something, I would say, even if it's something I would have said, well, you didn't pay me for that. What if you paid me for it? I was like, well, did you accept it? I'm like, no. But it's like, like you can't use somebody's likeness or image. It's like I can't put Coca-Cola or Nike on my shirt just because I like the way it looks. It's trademark infringement. It's like, so do we have to start trademarking ourselves? Like, is that the issue? It's like, where are we going with this? And why do we need this? Let me ask that question. No one's asking. You can do this. Okay? You can do all this. Why are we doing it? Does nobody ask that question?
I feel like all this technology, like I think after 2020, it just emerged out of nowhere, right? This whole AI revolution just sprung up on us immediately. Right. And I think, back to the whole thing we're talking about.
Well, remember, before the AI stuff, remember it was the holograms. Remember when Michael Jackson did the hologram after he was dead at concert, and then people were saying, well, this is the future of him, like watching dead people on a hologram. I'm like, that was kind of disturbing to me. Now this is even further where it's like, you don't know if things are real. Again, why do we need this? I don't even know why you need a hologram of Michael Jackson in person. Because it's the energy's not there. It's not the person. It's like you're looking at a hologram and it's like, it's not the same feeling, right? And it's kind of like, it makes me feel less that was the first concert I've ever seen was Michael Jackson. Well, it's like, well, if you can see him anytime, was it that special? We're seeing him live in person. I think AI is taking away the human aspect of it. I think that's designed to do that for you. Be very careful when we've talked about AI in the past, this deepfake stuff is just another portion of it where we need to be very, very careful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's insane how things are moving, like I feel like it's actually going to make live experiences a lot more meaningful in the future, because this is going to get on Instagram. It's going to get on TikTok. You can now I can create my own avatar and make it do things that I don't really have to be there present to do it. Right. But I feel like over time, we're going to start like losing that authentic human. And I predicted this.
We're going to be the Matrix. We're going to be the guys with the little computer fastened to the back of our head, and we're going to live in a matrix. And like that, I know it sounds far off, but that's predictive programming. It sounds far, but how are people now? Like you're trying to tell me when people are living there's guys that are literally dying in their homes because they're on video games the whole time. They're never leaving. They have VR sets on their heads and they're playing with their friends and doing that, and they literally never leave the home. How's that different than the Matrix? It seems step by step. And when we talked about the 15-minute cities, if they force people to stay inside the homes, the only place you can go travel is putting those head things on and going to travel that way. It's weird, right? There was another movie the other day, which we kind of sucked. We only saw the first 20 minutes of it, but it was with what's the girl from Stranger Things, Bobby Brown, Millie Bobby Brown,
Millie something,
yeah. And it wasn't a really good movie. It was the other guy from what's his name, Pratt from Guardians of the Galaxy. Chris Pratt. And we all watched it first. It was bad. But their whole thing was like they had like these headsets and people can basically, and they're pushing this AI on them and the robots. There's a whole robot revolution. But people are putting these things on their head, the VRs, and they were living in those pretty much. And Jason Alexander's in it too. And living in them. That's what their experience was. They're like, basically, their whole thing was like, basically live in these VR machines.
And they get actual like sensation as if like
exactly
actually
you can smell things, taste things, and it's so they're kind of got to be careful with Hollywood because they push a lot of their predictive programming on there what they want to do. They say it as, oh, it's just a show, it's other, but so many things we've seen before, it's predictive programming. It's one of the lies from Satan that he would do. Like if you show them what they're doing and you do it, it's like, we told you it wasn't a joke, right? Like, well, what'd you think was going to happen? Oh, you thought it was just entertainment. So why are we seeing all of this stuff where people are just putting this stuff on their heads and seeing holograms and fake stuff over and over again?
They're trying to normalize it.
They're trying to normalize it.
So when they
correct.
roll it out, it's like you've kind of been used to it a little bit, so you're more accepting of it.
Well, there was a whole thing about like, remember Janet Jackson and back in the 90s, and they would all like have like it looked like an army, and everyone was doing these dancers and do you guys remember those? Like, do you remember the Nation Army, whatever she was called? Like, and the whole idea was like, they were trying to normalize an army state for the U.S. They were just basically saying, you're going to do what we tell you to do. One person does this and then you just follow along. And it was subconscious. You don't necessarily need to be in the army, but you are going to basically do what we tell you to do. And it was a way for them to, like, and again, I didn't know about this at the time, but watching it into, 20 years after the fact, looking at conspiracy theories, and they were programming you. Notice when the TV shows are called programs, or shows always programming. They're subconsciously programming you of what they want you to do. So now knowing this, look at the videos that they're putting. What comes out? Like, there is not one show that I watch on that doesn't have some sort of gay aspect, LGBT aspect and all of it, because they're trying to, they've always been longest time trying to normalize it. And that's part of it. And so every time I'm like, Natalie and I watch a show, I'm like, and we say, okay, there it is. I just need to identify it and that's it. But it's funny, but it's programming, right? It's like saying, this is normal. This is normal. They've been doing it for years. This is normal. This is normal, right? Started with Ellen DeGeneres. Remember she kissed that girl and it was a whole big thing. And then they tried to normalize it normal. And it's a progression. Good or bad, it's just what they're doing, right? It's just explaining what they're doing. Well, I also think a lot of these headsets, these VRs, these deep fakes is where they want us to be, so they can control you, and you think everything is hunky-dory. Live in your 15-minute cities, put your VR sets on, you can go anywhere in the world. You want to go to Italy? Great. Put this headset on, relax, you feel like you're there. You can taste the food. And it only costs you a fraction
It's a subscription.
It's a subscription. That's
everything
right.
is going to be subscribed to.
That's right.
Do you see that one where this guy on TikTok is making a joke like, in the future we're going to be subscribing to like
Air.
Not even that, the sun. So he was sitting on a hill. You know how you can go to that I don't know what park it is, but it's like a hill everybody goes to and they kind of have a picturesque view of the city.
Yeah.
Is it Riverdale or something like that? I don't know what it is.
Anyway.
But Riverdale, right? So they're sitting right there, and he's not Riverdale, but imagine you're sitting there, you're looking at the skyline, the sun and everything, and then after 20 minutes, it's like, boom, you've enjoyed your free 20 minutes of the sun or whatever. Subscribe for more views and picturesque energy of the sun and the air and everything. And
they block everything out.
Block everything out. And then everybody has a view of the sun.
Okay.
Like, that's how crazy the imagination has gone now, like where we think things can go.
Well, do you remember Minority Report? Do you guys remember Tom Cruise Minority Report?
Yeah.
So everything was tapped in your eye. They knew exactly where you were. Everything was with your eyes, right? It was like, I'm like, oh, it was so futuristic. Like, well, what do you think those little passes are? People are saying now, it's like what do they call them? The passes, the digital pass, and the ranking system is
digital
like
ID.
Digital IDs. It's like, well, they were programming you what they were looking to do. And people are like, well, that can't be true. I'm like, look at the passes. Like, they've been telling you things, right?
And I think that's why we're seeing all this technology, DC, because if you can't verify, if things become, I think they're going to get so bad, like where you yourself, you have to like verify.
Did I do that?
Did I do that, right? And you got to like verify where you're at. So it's going to be more of a surveillance state everywhere. Sort of like how they have it in China and they're implementing it in the UK. cameras everywhere reading your face,
Big Brother's everywhere. I
Big
know.
Brothers everywhere.
But
and
you got to be
verify
obviously
yourself.
you got to be careful with that kind of stuff too, because then like there's always the ranking system of what you can and can't do. If you're against the government, they can shut down your bank account. They can shut down. That's scary as shit, man.
That's why even the cars are going to be electric now, because
no, I've said this before. Be careful. You can't say that about. So the idea is like they can shut down your car anywhere you want. Guess what? My Porsche they can shut down anywhere I want too.
You can do that with they do that with trucks now.
Yeah. So you can't just say that's electric. I thought that same thing too, Owen. There's a deeper problem with electric cars that no one's talking about. It's the electromagnetic force when you're driving the car. People literally getting sick driving Teslas. Your car is honestly like it's a big battery going on. The vibrations of it is making people sick. What's it doing to your body? You should not be around that frequency that long period of time. I guarantee there's gonna be people coming out with cancers caused by Tesla. I'm saying it right now. Here on the show, what is it? July 23rd, 2025. There's gonna be reports of people coming out saying they got some sort of cancers from Teslas. I'm putting it out right now. So I don't know if you watched my stories or not too. We were talking about our iPhones, right? Our iWatches. So Natalie was having a problem. I first started feeling when I wear my iWatch a lot, I get this pain like right here, right? And it's where the light shines, and so I would get these cramping, and the pain would shoot down my arm. So I take it off, so I wouldn't wear it off, and it comes back. So I got nicer watches. I just kind of wear those all the time. Well, Natalie was complaining about it too, like, and to a point where she couldn't even do push-ups. It was affecting her wrists. Like she couldn't play volleyball. The thing of it, and she went to an osteopath the other day, and she's like, "Well, do you wear your iWatch?" And she's like, "Well, yeah." And she's like, "Take it off." And she showed her, like, she put like this frequency on there, and she can tell it's what the light was doing. It was affecting like something part of her arm all the way up here, and it messed up her whole arm. She doesn't wear it anymore. Now she can do push-ups within a week. Like boom, like she did a couple of exercises. Doesn't touch the iWatch. She's like, her arm is back to normal. Talked to my cousin Jessica. We're sitting there. I'm like, "Did your wrist ever hurt?" And she goes, "Yeah, I've been going to get acupuncture and all this stuff too." And I'm like, "Get your watch." She goes, "Shut up." She goes, "Me and all my friends all have the same issue." I'm like, "Stop wearing your watch." I talked to her the other day. She goes, "Oh my God." She goes, "You're right." And then there's a report, which Natalie doesn't like that I say this report, but I don't care. Well, we're in Greece. It was like, now they're trying to see if that little dot could also cause skin cancer. So they are seeing people that from their watch, from that light to shine on there, skin cancer. So there's your technology, right? It's funny. Like you wanted your watch to be doing everything, controlling everything you're doing.
like calculating your heart rate and all that stuff too.
You guys watched Black Mirror?
Yeah.
Yeah, the nosedive episode.
Which one was that? I've seen them.
Yes.
That was from 2016. And how that came to fruition, that nosedive. So you can't hear Isaac on the other side. So he's talking about Black Mirror. And I always think about the social credit one when I talk about that one, where that girl is, remember, she's smiling in the beginning and she's got a credit score. If you smile, you get a little point. And at the end of the episode, she's in jail and she loses her mind. And basically her credit score is done in one day. If you haven't seen that episode on Black Mirror, watch it. It is unbelievable. And it kind of scares the shit out of you because you can see, because it's happening in China right now. And yeah, if you don't have Netflix, borrow from somebody else. But yeah, Black Mirror, that whole show is so much predictive programming. It's ridiculous. Like there's so many episodes in there. There's that other one we're talking about with the wife, where she installs something in her brain. And do you see that one? And because she was supposed to have like some sort of, she got into a car accident, was supposed to die. So the husband's like, "Oh no, like there's this new technology, but you can't get out of this certain radius." Right. And then to go to, because her brain was shut down. Like, "Oh, but you can subscribe for a short period of time." And then she can go outside of that radius, right? 15-minute cities, right? And then all of a sudden her brain, she started reacting and like she didn't pay for the upgrade and she started seeing commercials out of the blue. And it was, anyway, that one was amazing. That was crazy. It was
even the one where you can kind of create a Mandela effect, like that one where I might think, like the Fruit of the Loom, how the logo had like that.
It had the cornucopia.
And then there was a whole debate about it on social media where people were saying like, "Oh, it was never there. It was always there." It's like, no, what do you mean?
There's this whole theory about there's the shift when we became the Mandela effect, where we were in two different dimensions and we merged at some sort of point. It happened during 2021. Like, for example, one of them is like, you want to know from the old world or from the new world? So let me ask you a question. One of the questions is like, and I ask the audience, in which it comes to it, like, when you guys were growing up as kids, where was your heart? Yeah, we're always told it was the left side. Well, no, people from the new world, they're saying it's always been in the middle. Right? So it's like, what do you mean? They're like, oh, what are you talking about? Your kidneys, where are your kidneys? Yeah, it's supposed to be lower back. The new people are saying that it's higher up. The what's called the Monopoly guy. Does he have a monocle? Not have a monocle.
He does have a monocle.
He does, and apparently now he's never had it.
What about Bernstein Bears? The show.
I was always the Bernstein Bears.
Bernstein? The way you spell
Bernstein
it,
Burns.
it's Bernstein. It's like the Bernstein Bears.
The
exactly.
Bernstein, but no, but you're from our. Apparently, you're from our timeline. So there's two different timelines.
Yeah.
So it's crazy the stuff that we're going through.
Even the Fruit of the Loom logo was apparently never there, and this one.
So the cornucopia is saying before, right? Because you remember through they were saying now it's just the fruit, and we're saying, well, where's the cornucopia? It was never there. I'm like, it was 100% there when we were kids.
Cornucopia is like the acorn looking thing. Yeah. It was apparently it was never there. This one chick was so convinced that it was always there. She went digging deep in her closet, from her parents. She went back home to her parents' house, found the T-shirt.
Now I don't know if this is. Yeah, I know, but proved it was right. But have you seen the one that I don't know if this is deep fake or not? But there's a book with the Berenstein or Berenstein Bears, and depending on where she put the book, it would change the spelling. It was on camera. I'm like, this has to be a deep fake. And you can't prove it because it's we don't know. Is it a hoax? Because now we're watching. So here's the other problem with the deep fakes. Now we're seeing stuff which could have been true, right? Like I've had a lot of ghost experience when we were kids. Like when we were, even as an adult, we've talked about that. Well, if I ever had it caught on camera, somebody could just say, well, that's a deep fake. So now we're questioning everything. So this whole thing with the book, or if something supernatural's happening, think about now the implications with God. Say God does something and he and shows you himself. They're people now won't believe it.
It's a scary path where we're going. And the genie's out of the bottle and there's no way to put it back in. We cannot go back now.
Again, why do we need?
We don't need it. We don't need it.
Listen, I like AI for helping us with there's certain things it's good for,
for efficiency.
For efficiency, if I'm looking for topics, I want to talk about what I do in my videos, or if I want to talk about if it helps us with our descriptions, it helps narrow down. It does. There is an aspect of it which there's a use case for it, but to this point where people are using it for everything, that's just it's a little nuts.
Do you find a lot of us are relying on it?
100%.
I found myself talking to ChatGPT.
I don't even write emails anymore. I'm did I write this right? I'll throw it into quickly into ChatGPT. I'm can you just clean this 2-sentence one up? And it comes back almost the same. I'm why did I even need to do that? Why? And I find that's a problem too, because now we're relying not even on our brains anymore to be able to write single prose in a normal way. And I'm guilty of it too. I'm saying, guys, I'm not saying you're the problem. I'm saying I'm the problem too.
Yeah, there's a lot of confirmation bias. You tell ChatGPT and it agrees with you. And you're like...
But did you hear the creator of AI said, he goes to ChatGPT, he's you're not... First of all, what they say all the time is not always true. The problem is that when people put into ChatGPT, remember, they're calling all this information in the background. It doesn't mean it's always accurate, but we are taking it as gospel truth. And he's warning people. It's not always accurate. You're taking this as a word of God, let's say, but it's not actually accurate. Do your self-research. If you want to say that, people writing a paper, for example, could write a whole paper on ChatGPT. They'll have them write it for them. And it's dude, it might not even be accurate. You can get a failing grade.
I was just creating a document to give to one of my students, and it was based off of an example that they gave me. So when I said, just create this is my prompts. I'm really good at prompts. But I'm create it based on this video, and I gave the link, and then it created it based on a whole other video. I thought it was wrong.
Oh, so I don't know if you guys can hear that. Isaac had a teacher. He's talking about one of the situations where he basically put it into ChatGPT to find a prompt, and it gave him a totally different video, and he thought it was wrong. Again, you have to be careful with this stuff. Again, you can't use and that's why I always laugh when people are saying about, well, what about realtors? Are you guys a dying breed now that AI is coming? I'm you still need a human aspect of it. As much as good as a robot do, they can know as much as you possibly can. It's not the same. It's not the same. There is a human aspect in the services in which we provide, right? and I don't care what robot, and I don't care how much you're learning. I actually am scared of robots. Watching the Terminator, watching the Matrix, basically people have been warning us for years. Do not rely on technology. It can come back and kill you. Yeah, I believe it could. Like, I'm scared shitless.
even when we were when we're making like the last couple weeks episode thumbnail, we kind of had you looking as Morpheus.
Yeah.
On the thing like red pill to blue pill.
Yeah.
And I actually ended up walking back and watching back the episode where he's like walking in the street and he's like telling you see this? Everyone is the Matrix. Like the cop, the doctor, and this lady appears out of nowhere, like to distract you.
Yeah,
everything. Like it's one of those.
Have you seen the one with the purple hair people and the LGBT one? It's pretty funny. It was an anti LGBT video, and you couldn't help but laugh. And it's like, anyway, it was like, you never know who, like, as I was talking about transgender. It was a deep fake, but you thought it was actually part. I almost went back to watch a movie. I'm like, did that actually happen? That I'm like, no. It's the guy's making fun of the situation. So yeah.
The Matrix is everywhere. I mean, it's insane. Last thoughts, DC, like, where do we go from here? Like, I mean,
so I think technology, AI is, where do we go from here? Is like, don't let it be a cornerstone of your everyday life. It would be a huge part. Get out, talk to people. The sun is the biggest healer we possibly can. Go outside. Go
touch grass.
Go touch grass. Eat red meat. Eat a lot of eggs. Enjoy life. No, but seriously, like, technology is great, but not if it takes away from your human aspect. And I think, like, the human experience, right? You got to remember, we're humans. We're spiritual beings living a human experience, right? And we will only feel our spirit filled when you're dealing with other people. The problem with AI is I think it takes away from that. And I think that the deep fakes also makes you have an affiliation with somebody who's not even real, right? It's easy to get catfish. It's easy to believe in something else. My suggestion on that is, like, try to put your computer down, right? Don't rely on it for anything. Go out, meet people in real life, right? Do that. Be a human.
Yeah. And last year, Isaac and I spoke about it when we were setting up, how we can't feel anymore because we felt so much, right? Like, we feel the rush, the dopamine from all these tools, all these apps and everything, that we know so much that we don't know how to feel anymore.
Yeah.
Like, we don't know what the naturalness of because, like, when they say, like, when two people have like sex, they kind of have, like, they pair bond, right? And if you do it too much with too many people, you lose that effect over time to, like, pair bond with someone.
Well, so it's also like what they call, like, sex ties, right?
Sex ties.
Yeah.
Soul ties.
Soul ties,
right?
Sorry, yeah.
Same thing with technology. With too much technology, you lose the effect of actually connecting with people on a deeper level because you feel like you know them. You're so quick to pass a judgment because of what you saw in them online or whatever, that you forget they're humans on the other side of that screen. So it's insane.
So this is why you need to call me to list your house so you can talk to me in real life.
And connect and talk and see what you need.
That's not a joke. Call me.
Yeah. Details will be in the description. Email, phone number, socials. You know where to get us. But hopefully you guys got something out of that. Remember, as fast as technology is moving, be careful what you see, what you hear, because not everything is what is cracked out to be. So just do your own due diligence before judging something and believing it and running with it and letting it form your reality. Always just, like, check back and see if this is actually true, and verify your sources ultimately at the end of the day. But we'll see you guys in the next episode. We'd love to get your comments below. Make sure to subscribe, and we will see you next week. Ciao. And bye for now. Bye-bye.